Here is a little guide on how we created our Audrey 2 puppet. So we began by using a heater. This machine creates heat so that we could apply it to make a hoop shape. We also used wood to fill in the gaps for this, so that we could actually drill these bits in the middle. So this was the handle being created in the middle of the hoop. So we used the wood, and we also used glue to make sure it was held in securely. We then used the heat gun again to make sure that the wires were bent. So we wedged this in between plastic, so it held the shape, and then we applied heat to it to add the bend.
Yeah, we need it on that one, though.
As you can see here, this is a picture of the hook that goes through the top. We then used a drill to make that a bit bigger because we needed to readjust it to make the top of the head a little shorter. But as you can see, that is the top frame in its first creation. We then added side sections to create the kind of spine, and we noticed that because of it, the weight was struggling to hold the hooks, so it kept tipping. So we wrapped.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be
tape around it to hold it securely, and this was the frame. We used these wires because we didn't like the shape that the top was taking with the side bits. We wanted them to go more to the side. So we used these, and the way we created the wires was we got 2 wires and twisted them in the drill, like so. So then we began on the bottom frame. So this needed a dip in the bottom, as it would be used for the mouth, and there would be things going in it such as Oren's body parts, Mushnik. We consider a leather jacket going in there of Mushniks. So this is what we were looking at for that. This was the frame for the bottom. We imitated the exact same thing that we did for the top, except that this time we left a place for a bit of leg room. And this is it together.
All night long. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're thinking.
And so then now came the time for the cloth to go on. So this would be like for the skin of twoey. So what we did was we got just a bit of bed sheet type cloth, and at this bit we were sticking it to form like the shapes of plants. So we had a lot of excess that we needed to cut off, as you can see up there. But yeah, so that's what it looked like for the top of it. Got quite a few pictures of that. This is us gluing it in place. So as you can see, we did blobbed sections so that we didn't absolutely douse it, but it made sure it was held securely. But yeah, so this is the shape that it took at the top. But we weren't happy with this bit here because it seemed to be uneven. Whereas these bits were fine, this bit just seemed uneven. So what we did was we put a bit of foam around. Oh wait, no we didn't. This is for later. At this point, we were trying to imitate the mouth. So this is what we were planning on using for the mouth of twoey. So yeah, so this
to
was
build
what
the
we
lips.
were planning. Yeah. To build the lips.
Yeah,
still.
definitely.
So this is kind of the idea of what the lips look like. The only issue was this bit, but we'll come back to that later. We then made sure that everything was held securely with tape so that no one could get scratched or hurt from the inside. That is a picture of the top bit fully adjusted, but yeah, so that's what it looks like. So then we started with painting. So we used the colour forest green, and we used PVA to make it last longer, and a bit of water so that it would create this kind of texture on the fabric. And that is the finished result after we'd done all the painting. So then we were using the harness.
Just glue these in place, and we would have it over the shoulders like so, but we had issues of it falling off over the shoulders, and obviously if it comes off, not going to end well, as it would just come completely off. So we came up with the option of wrapping it around, looping it once, and then clipping it together and having it dangling just from around the neck, still supporting from the back, as you can see. But then we realised if we're wanting to use the original plan of making a shoot using this bit, it needs to be a bit more forward. So we're planning on attaching a belt to here as well as this, so that it keeps it both supported on the neck and the shoulders as well as around the waist, and this will work for any person's height.
But yeah, as you can see, that is me walking around with it. To show the shape, that is the loops that we were talking about in that video. And that is how the harness is adjusted. But then we considered maybe putting a little bit of foam in the middle of that to see if that could hold it in place, but it did not. So we stuck with the plan that I came up with in the video. This is the bottom half being applied its cloth. As you can see, excess, so I went around and cut that all off. Then we glued in a bit of a curtain to make the purple mouth. We follow very much the style of the film version for this design, so we wanted the purpley mouth, as we thought that made it seem way more alien-like and abstract. So we thought, right, we'll do purple. So this is the mouth in further preparation. We wanted it to connect all the way around, so everything would be held securely by it. So before painting it, we were planning on painting it red, but before painting it, we were going to use this. It's normally used for welding, I believe. But basically this, once again, this produces heat, and so it drags into the foam, as these are just like the foams you find on buildings and things. When things are being built, these are things that are found on like poles and things for being built. So when you see scaffolding, basically. So that's the kind of texture. We wanted to imitate the texture of human lips. And obviously when you look closely at lips, they have lines and little indents. So this is what we did for that. Here's me working on a part of it. More of me working on part of it. We also then used in here, we wanted to create a little bit more texture, so we have the lines all the way down, and then we had little ones in between, just to make it look a bit more wrinkled on the lips. But this is the bottom half, fully painted and finished, I believe. And we also now had a middle harness. We also then had a middle harness to go around your waist, and this is it so far in this process. Yeah. We obviously then saw that this bit was sticking out, and so was the bit there, but you can't see it there. But yeah,
No, you're not. Feed me!
But yeah, so so that is that hung up to dry with that bit dangling. We then did the bottom bit of here, and we glued that in, then cut off the excess afterwards. So this is what it looked like. We said it didn't matter if it looked a bit creased, but it didn't need to look that creased. So we got it to that point, and we were happy with that. So then we did the bottom of the lips. So we painted the back of it a bit first before doing the indents, because we had some excess paint. And then the next day I did the same process on the bottom and painted it, and that is the finished bit of that. We then applied a hot glue gun to the top, dragging it down in small lines to create veins. And this was the final results of that. And then we knew we needed to cut off the excess of this, because obviously there was too much of it. So what we then did is we trimmed it down, and I don't believe we got a picture of it, but then we applied Velcro to the back of twoey and to the bottom of the lips, so that those could be Velcroed in and held in place. But yeah, so that was the bucket we chose. But yeah, so we were planning on wrapping vines around the bottom. This is me attempting to use it for puppeteering. We said it doesn't need to be over the top, it just needs to be.
Baby, feed me Seymour, feed me all night long. That's right, boy. You can do it, feed me Seymour, feed me all night long. 'Cause if you feed me Seymour.
But yeah, so that is a little clip of me trying to puppeteer it, to get ideas for how it needed to be puppeteered properly. But yeah, so we were planning on creating leaves on the side, and wrapping vines all around the bottom of the plant pot. As you can see here. So we have, these are just made out of thinner pipe. These are thinner pipes, and then these were made out of the wire that was twisted, and glue was applied. Glue was applied the same way as the bits on the top, and we just did that in like a teardrop shape, and then put a little dent in the top of the teardrops, and then we had mini leaves wrapped around the vines as well. But yeah, so
Oh,
that is the finished product, and that is it within the college, with the rest of the set, and Mushnik leaning into it to show. We'd also apply, just before it left to get there, we also applied just these. These are just bits of thick plastic cut into the shapes of teeth. So just 2 triangles on the side.